Hey there, it's John Vroman. Welcome to 4 Minutes in the Front Row. Today, I want to explore how addressing our mortality can inspire vitality in our lives. The other day, I'm walking through the forest with my son. We're having what we call Papa Tiger Day. It's all of our favorite things, and we both love this time together. Along the walk, my son turns to me and he says, "Papa, I hope you never die. I hope you live for 1,000 years." I was reminded in that moment of just how precious these days really are. Days before that, my parents are on their way to Amsterdam. It's my mom's 70th birthday, and we get this email that says, "In the unlikely event that anything happens to us, here's where you can find all the important documents about our lives." I was reminded again. And then I thought about a time when I was journaling, and I wrote on the left-hand side of my journal, I put a dot, and I wrote underneath of that, birth. I drew a line across the page from that dot to another dot where I wrote death. I said, if that line represents my entire life, and let's say, for argument's sake, that I live to be 100, halfway through, age 50, here we are, and I said, I'm about 40 when I did this exercise, so I put a little X there, and I started thinking about my life. I could see the whole thing, the beginning, the end, right there in front of me. And I started thinking, wow, the first 20 years, I was trying to figure out who the heck I was. You know, in my 20s, I was trying to figure out why I'm here. What was I supposed to be doing with my life? At age 30, when I started Front Row Foundation, I think I started to really figure it out. And now at age 40, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. This is where it's just getting really good. I've got these young kids. I'm married to this beautiful woman, Tatiana. I want to do all these things. I want to write this book, and I want to speak and coach, and I want to help all these people in the charity. Oh man, I'm so excited about life. And I started thinking about, how many good years will I have? I mean, I know that, listen, there's people in their 90s that run marathons, but I thought, oh man, maybe at 80 or 85, I'll start seeing some challenges with doing some of the things I love to do now, maybe. I started thinking about how many great years I have ahead. And then it started to inspire me because it scared me. I could see that there was an end. I could see that time was going to run out, and that if I wanted to do something, I needed to do it now. I needed to spend time with my kids. I needed to write that book. I needed to go do the thing I was born to do, and do it with courage. And let all that fear go so that I could live a life where I wouldn't have regrets at the end. And speaking of regrets, Bronnie Ware wrote a great book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. You've likely heard about it. It's a very popular book. And I've heard multiple people talk about this, and in case you hadn't heard or you'd like a great reminder, here are her top 5 regrets. And I should mention, if you hadn't heard of this, that Bronnie worked with people for years that were in the end of their lives. And she noticed a pattern emerging. People that had certain regrets about their lives, and she wrote about it. And here they are, 5 regrets. She said, regret number 1 is people said, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Regret number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Regret number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Regret 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And regret 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Amazing book. Now I want to ask you today that in the end, what do you want to be remembered for? In the end, what do you want to have looked back on? What do you want to look back on in your life and say, I'm so glad I did that? In the end, what will you be most proud of? In the end, what regret might you have that you could look ahead, see that might be a regret, and do something to prevent it now? One of my greatest fears is getting to the end of my life, looking back and say, I wish I would have. I wish I would have had more courage to go do the thing, to share my voice courageously in the world, to be able to forgive and forget and move on more quickly so that I could experience the joys of life, tackle the adversities and the challenges and the problems head on, not ignoring them, but finding ways to enjoy as many of those days as possible with the people I love the most. How can we allow the idea of mortality to inspire vitality in our lives right now? That's the question. How can you use the end to bring power to right now in your world. I ask you, what do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done? Thanks for watching, everybody. I look forward to your comments, and keep living your life in the front row. Take care.